Good evening. I want to thank you all for joining us tonight on our Team All In business training. I'm actually really looking forward to listening to this again. I've listened to it a few times, and I think one of the challenges we have, especially earlier in our, even later in our business, I find, sometimes we struggle or have a challenge when somebody asks us, so what do you do? And I even sometimes think, oh, am I saying too much, or should I say more? And then when Allan went through the session on Friday, I thought, okay, we got to have a discussion around this, because there's nothing more uncomfortable than when you are out in public and you're talking and connecting, right? We're connecting and talking to more and more people, because that's what we're helping, grow our business. And I find that if you don't have the right words, sometimes we could lose somebody. So yeah, let's have some fun and listen to Allan's theory and just some ideas and suggestions, and then we'll have some examples and we'll just have a chat around this. So thank you for joining us tonight.
Have been asked what you do so far? I mean, since you've been doing Neolife, has everybody been asked at some point, like, what do you do? Yeah, looks like most of you. Yes. Okay. We have many times. And I will say this, if you haven't, it's just a matter of time, even if you're not fishing for it. And what I mean by fishing for it is, you ask somebody where they live, they ask you where you live. You ask them how many kids they have. They ask you how many kids you have. You ask them what they do for work. They ask you what you do for work. I mean, most people will reciprocate the questions, right? We know this. So that's what I mean by fishing for it. I mean, if I want someone to ask me what I do, I just ask them what they do. And that's kind of something I would do anyway, because I'm curious about people. I want to know about if they're married. I want to know about their children. I want to know where they live. I want to know what they do for work. I want to know what they're passionate about, what they're pursuing, what's exciting in their life, what's their biggest plan for the year. Like, I want to know those things about people, but I want to know what they do for work. And when you ask them, they're going to ask you most times. And if you're comfortable answering the question, you're going to want to bring this up much more than you do. If you're not comfortable answering the question, you're not going to want it to be asked, right? I mean, I've been in the situation so many times in the past where I awkwardly, what do you do? And I just stumble over my words. I'm not confident. I don't know what I'm going to say ahead of time. So then sometimes I don't know how to say it. Sometimes I'll answer and then I'll man, I missed out on a great opportunity. I didn't even talk about what I'm super excited about, and that's Neolife or whatever. Like maybe back when I had a full-time job and Neolife was just a part-time thing or a side thing like it is for most of you. So that's why I think this conversation is so important, because this is like the easiest way to create a conversation around Neolife if you want to. And if you don't want to, you still need to be prepared, or you're going to miss opportunities when people ask you what you do, regardless of whether you're trying to have a conversation about Neolife or not. So that's kind of the backdrop of why I think this is so important. And I hope that what I have to share, in fact, I know that what I have to share is helpful. It will be helpful. It's helpful to me just thinking about it again this week for today's call, just thinking like, man, this is so good. It's so important to really have this dialed in so that we can answer confidently. And that's one of the 5 keys I want to talk about. But what do you say? How do you describe what you do? Do you just come out and say, and these are the questions I've asked myself, like, do you just come out and say I'm in network marketing? Do you say, or do you phrase it differently? Do you try to be a little more creative and witty in the way you respond? Do you say I have an online business? Do you say I have a home-based business? Do you say I work with a pharmaceutically licensed nutritional research company? What do you say? Let me ask you this. How many of you say, I know what I say and I'm confident in it. I'm ready right now. Ask me. Let's go. I'll tell you right now. What do I say? Can anybody put their hand up and say that? I am so confident. I know exactly what I'd say on a dime, anytime, in my sleep. Ask me what I do. I'd love to tell you. Can anybody say that? Because if you can't, then this talk is for you. And if you can't, and you walk away from this talk and you don't do the work, which might just take you 15 minutes on your next drive or your next walk. It's not like a lot of work, but if you don't slow down, if you just hear this and just hear it, it's not going to help you much. The one thing will help you is that I'm going to tell you one of the 5 things is answer with confidence, even if it's horrible what you say, because it matters more how you say what you say than the words that you say. Okay, that you could probably walk away with some help. But other than that, of what you say, it's not going to help you a darn bit. If you don't commit to yourself right now that you'll walk away from this call and you'll, hey, I'm going to at least spend a couple minutes at this, like figuring out an answer so that I'm ready to give any man or woman an answer that asks me the question. That's my challenge to you this morning, okay? I don't want to just waste our time. I don't want you to go, yeah, that was great. And then you don't know, clueless tomorrow when someone asks you what you do, what you even say. What a waste of time. Let's not do that together. So I understand the whole direct approach of saying I am in network marketing, I'm a network marketing professional, and I'm proud of it. I understand that. I normally don't do that though. And it's not that I'm trying to hide it. It's not that I'm ashamed of it. In fact, I'm so proud to be a part of this industry. I'm so proud to be a part of Neolife. I'm so proud that Neolife is a part of this industry and that it's not sold in retail. I'm so proud that it's not any other business model but network marketing. I don't know of anyone that's more excited, proud, whatever word you want to use, honored than I am. I don't know of anyone. I mean, there's others that are as excited as I am, but how could you be more excited than I'm just excited? Like, I love this business model. It's the brilliant, most fair, equitable. It's brilliant from our perspective. We don't have to deal with all the other stuff corporate has to deal with. It's brilliant from corporate's perspective. They don't have to pay a penny in marketing, advertising, and all that to Michael Jordan or whoever else until the product is purchased. Then they pay us. They're not investing in ads and spend and all this stuff on a hope and a prayer that they work and sell something. I mean, I could go on about the business model. I love it. But I normally don't lead with I'm in network marketing because, and not that it's wrong to, sometimes I do actually, sometimes I do. But the reason I normally don't is because a lot of people misinterpret it. They don't understand. They hear the words, they picture something. It's not the accurate something. So that's why I choose not to. Most of the time. Again, sometimes I will. Sometimes I will. Because of these 5 points I'm going to share with you, you can say I'm in network marketing and still pull it off. But I normally don't. The other reason I normally don't is because a lot of people, we think everyone knows what network marketing is. We think they have an impression of what it is, right or wrong, good or bad. We think they would at least picture something. Man, I've talked to plenty of people when we get into a conversation and they realize it's network marketing, they don't have a clue what network marketing is. They don't even know. They're like, well, was that like computer cables? Like, what is network marketing? I mean, I don't know. So we assume people know and they don't. So those are the 2 reasons. I think people will think something that's not accurate and or they just don't have a clue what box to put those 2 words in. Network marketing, I don't even know what that is. So that's why I don't, okay? But whether you say straight up it's network marketing or whether you don't, that's not what's as important as what I'm going to share. What's important is, and by the way, I'm going to give you some points, but what's really important before I go through these 5 points is, and they'll be fairly quick to go through because it's not like one of the 5 points is be brief. One of the 5 points is be brief. Oh, what do you do? No, wrong answer. Just be brief. Okay, that's one of the 5 points. I just gave you one of the 5 points. So it's not like we have to go deep and talk long about the 5 points. But before we talk about the 5 points, we have to understand the general concept and the psychology and the perspective of what the other person hears when we say what we say. At least just be aware that I know what I'm saying, but I want to be aware of what they're hearing when I say what I'm saying. And so my warning is catch the principles that I'm saying. And then after that, you can easily figure out how to apply the principles to your answer to what do you do for a living? Does that make sense? Just take the principles. Don't get hung up in the wording or anything like that. It's very, very important. And if you have questions, I can see chats coming in, Marilyn, and I can't read and talk and think at the same time. I'm not really good at that. So keep the questions or comments in the chat. I'll go back here in a minute and actually read them when I'm done and answer if there's any questions in the chat or whatever. Happy to do that. So please keep doing that. I just want you to know I can't see it on the fly very well. Okay. Too many times, people will have a system or a script and then they don't teach the principles. And then when we try to put ourselves in some kind of box, then you're going to lose your style, and you're going to lose your personality, and you're going to lose your authenticity and how you communicate to people. And that kind of goes back to the most important thing is how people perceive what we say, not even the words that we say. Words do matter, but less than how they perceive what we say and how we communicate what we say. So anytime you're recruiting a member or a promoter, that's the context. We're having a conversation, and all recruiting starts with a conversation. So anytime you're recruiting a conversation, it's super important to keep in mind that consciously or subconsciously, they are asking themselves a couple questions. And don't miss this, especially if you're talking to a prospective promoter, business partner. They're asking, and even members, they're asking themselves consciously or subconsciously, or maybe later they replay the tape in their mind and ask it a month later. So don't think they're not going to ask it if they're not asking it right now, but they're asking themselves two questions. Typically is, can I do what she's doing? And is it worth it? Do I think this is worth it? That's what they're going to ask themselves. Consciously or subconsciously, do I think I can do what she's doing or he's doing? And is it worth it? Keep that in mind as you, in all of your conversations all the time, but especially, not especially, but in the context of this, like, how do you answer what you do? Well, I have a master's degree in nutrition, and I am, I work with the top scientist in the world, and it's pharmaceutically licensed and blah, 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 blah. How many people are going to go, interesting, I think I could do that? You ever thought about that? It's worth thinking about. If we want business partners, if we just want a bunch of customers and want to impress people with our ego, go for it. But if we want to get customers and we want to get business partners, then we need to really think about, how are we communicating? Because people are thinking, can I do this? And is it worth it? So whether you say I do network marketing, I have an online business, I have a home-based business, or something altogether differently, here's the 5 things. So if you're taking notes, here's the 5 things. Number 1, and I said 2 of the 5 already, answer with confidence. Answer with confidence. How would you feel if you ask someone what they do and they're like, well, I'm a nurse. I mean, are you going to think they're proud of what they do? Are you going to think they're excited about what they do? Do you think they're, that's not very attractive. Or I'm a whatever. I said nurse, whatever. I'm an insurance agent, but I'm a good one. I'm not like some of those others, think about it. What's that going to do to us? And so we've got to answer with confidence. We've got to create curiosity. 2, I meant to just say all 5, and then we'll go through them real quick. 3, I already said this one, be brief. So really, I'm going to give you 5, but those 3 are the main ones, okay? Answer with confidence, create curiosity, and be brief. Pretty darn simple. Really simple. So when you're driving around or you're on your walk today or whatever, if you only focus on 3 of the 5, that's okay. Answer with confidence, create curiosity if you're able to, because the goal is a follow-up question from them, and be brief. Not, I work with a pharmaceutical license and I've got a PhD in nutrition, blah, 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 and they're like, wow, that's impressive. Cool. No curiosity, no follow-up question, no conversation from it. Not the goal. Goal is create curiosity, create a follow-up question, create a conversation. That's the goal, not to impress people. Okay. Number 4, end with a question. Again, if you forgot that one, not so important. Number 5, handle an objection. The best presentations handle the objections in the presentation. If you can handle an objection in your answer, that's just like bonus, okay? Don't stress about doing it. It's a bonus. Those are the 5. So I'll go through them real quick. Number 1, I think I've pretty much covered it. Answer with confidence. It matters more how you say what you say than what you say. So don't get hung up in your wording exactly or stress about it, because if we're stressing about it, then we're not going to come across with confidence. And now it doesn't matter. We could have the perfect script and it's a flop because we're nervous or uncomfortable or not confident. So whatever you do, you answer with confidence, just like the girl we know that was selling door-to-door Neolife, and she called photo defense, and she sold a boatload of it. It didn't matter she said the wrong thing. Didn't matter she didn't know what she was talking about. She answered with conviction and confidence and sold hundreds of PV at each doorstep. I mean, amazing, unique, but amazing. So anyway, answer with confidence. And I'll say last thing on the first point is you can't do that without preparation. I mean, maybe you can. Let me say this. I can't do that without preparation. And I'm going to guess most of you can't do that without preparation. And the reason why I think so is I didn't see anybody raise their hand and said, yeah, I'm dialed right now. Ask me. I'm confident on the fly anytime. Tomorrow, someone could just boom, out of the blue. Hey, what do you do for a living? And I can just turn around and answer with confidence the way I'd want to answer. I didn't hear anyone say that. Maybe I missed it, but I think most of you didn't say that anyway. And so that's how I know most all of us are the same. We can't do it without practice and thinking it through. So practice, prepare. It's simple, but practice and prepare so you can answer with confidence. Number 2, the goal is to create curiosity. So think about when you answer, what is a great way to create curiosity? At least get one way down. Just get one way down. Lawrence Clark does such a great job when he talks about how to share your story of saying, like a pitcher, fastball, changeup, curveball, slider, knuckleball, sinker, all these pitches would be great to have them all. But first you start with one good one and you get really good at one, a fastball, and then you can work in a changeup and get really good at the changeup before you worry about a curveball. Because it doesn't matter how many pitches you have if you're bad at all of them. Let's get good at one of them. And he uses that in the context of let's get really good at telling one story to your story. Maybe it's your health story, your business story, before you work on the second story, which is the other. And then maybe you work on a third story and you can get variations of your story. They're all true. They're just different aspects of your story. So they're different stories. He does a good job explaining that, better than probably I just did. And the same thing here is there's a lot of different ways to create curiosity. I mean, if I'm talking to somebody that's obese, well, I'm probably going to weave in there something that if they're curious about losing weight, it might intrigue them. If based on what I know about somebody, I might answer the question in a way I think is more likely to provoke curiosity in them than how I'd answer to somebody else. But don't stress about all that. That's like next level. First level is get good at one curiosity answer that's kind of general that you at least can answer on the fly without stressing. And you can always, the more you do it, you can add other things, right? Like other pitches. So think about curiosity. I mean, I do like to talk about that I work with a 60-year-old company in the health and wellness space that 99% of people have never heard of 60 some years later here in North America. That's interesting to some people, right? And just there's different ways we can say things. I'm not saying that is the answer because it's not the answer, but think about how you can create curiosity in your answer and practice it. Number 3 of 5, be brief. There is power in brevity. It's my greatest weakness. This training is probably a great example of my greatest weakness. I'm probably saying way too much and making a simple training way more complicated than it needs to be. But we need to work towards brevity. I mean, Jesus was a great example. Come follow me. Hey, one-liners. Boom, boom. You see this all throughout the Bible. Other people are great examples. We don't have to say a lot when we're confident. When we're not confident, we have to say a lot more. Does that make sense? The less confident we are, the more we end up saying oftentimes. And that's why that's another skill is learning not to talk too much and turn it into a question and get them talking as soon as possible. So number 3 is be brief. Number 4, so I just want to say, if all you get is those 3, you're golden, you're good. Okay, don't stress. I'm just gonna give you 2 bonus ones. The first one, answer with confidence. Got to practice it so you can. Number 2, create curiosity in what you say. Number 3, be brief. Simple. We could end right there, but I'm going to give you 2 bonus ones. Number 4, end with a question. I want them to ask a question, so I'm more likely to get a question if I, or get them talking if I ask a question. So you can end with a question to keep that conversation going in the context of what you do. Okay. Number 5, finally, and I said this before, but if you can think about this. Don't stress about this either, but you can try to solve, the best presentations handle the objections in the presentation. So if we can handle at least one of the objections they may have in our answer, that's kind of cool. So how do you do that? I mean, there's different ways, but I found a way. What do? I found a way to whatever. I wrote down some different things because I'm not good at doing things on the fly that I normally don't do, but I found a way to do, if you were going to say network marketing, which I probably wouldn't, but to do network marketing without annoying my friends and family. I found a way. That's the key. I found a way. Okay. I found a way to make part-time income without being overwhelmed. How many people are overwhelmed? I don't have time, I found a way I can make money from home in my spare time in just a few flexible hours a week. I found a way where I can create recurring income while strengthening my relation. This is the positive of not annoying family and friends. I kind of like the positive better than the negative, but I found a way where I can create recurring income while in the process strengthening my communication skills and my relationships with family and friends. I found a way to add income to our family budget without having to annoy family and friends. Another a way of saying, again, depends on who you're talking to, maybe how you would say something like that. And you don't have to do any of this. These are just things that may or may not apply. So don't overcomplicate it. Again, I hesitate to even say this because maybe I'm saying too much. So just thinking about, especially if you know a person, like maybe objection to the business or even to the products, you could weave that in potentially. Not enough time, not enough money, don't want to annoy people, don't want to be one of those guys, whatever. So that's about it. How are we doing on time? Okay, good. That's about it. I just want to encourage you to take the time to practice. Something that I would often say, I do this all the time. And if you have a question, feel free to drop it in the chat. But here's something I always, like 99% of the time I will say when someone asks me, what do you do? First thing we got to do is answer with confidence, right? So the first words out of my mouth, almost always sets my mind in the right place and it communicates confidence. So if you want to do this, do it. I have the best job on the planet. Or, glad you asked. I love what I do. I love answering like that. I usually say, I think I've got the best job on the planet. I get to. And so it already sets my mind, my body, my emotions, and their ears to positivity. This guy's excited about what he's doing and they're leaning in. Not, I do this business, on the, So what that feels like. I've done plenty of that. So normally I'm like, thanks for asking. I got the best job on the planet. I get to work with a 60-year-old health and wellness company, helping people get healthier. And for a smaller percentage of people, make an additional income, adding some extra wiggle room to their family budget. Do you know anyone that's looking for extra income? Do you know anyone that maybe wants to lose a few pounds, is looking for more energy? Maybe, and this is how I could end with a question. Do you know anyone that maybe needs to control blood sugar or balance hormones or just live healthier, happier life? Well, yeah, okay. Well, I don't know about that, but what do you do? Tell me more. That's where we want to go with this conversation. I've done so much impressive answers. They were so impressive. So impressive the person went, oh, wow. And never did it just fell flat, dead. Not good. So that's just an example of, how I might do it. And I hope that's helpful. Let me look at the comments. That's all I have. Let's see. Was there any questions in here? And if anyone has a way they love to answer, I'd love to hear it. throw it in the chat or unmute and tell us real quick. What do you say? There's no wrong answer, that's for sure. Anyone have something that they like to say that they'd love to share so we can all creatively expand our minds?
I usually say something like we have a home-based business working with a whole food nutrition company.
Love it. That's great. Thank you, Scott. I see Marilyn wrote, I work in the field of nutrition. That almost always sparks a conversation. That's nice and brief. I like that. And Marilyn said after the response, she will say something like, I help people know how to supplement their diets for good health. Good. Yeah, tennis match. Got to hit the ball back and forth. We want the conversation to go back and forth, not fall dead on our fancy talk or nervous talk. They need to sense that we enjoy what we do. Lawrence, yep, exactly. Good. Okay. Well, if there's no questions, we'll shut it down.
Okay,
I
so
hope
I
that
think we need to have a conversation around that because I know that probably opened up a lot of ideas and suggestions, and I think it's important that we even practice, okay, amongst each other. I think it's really important, and I love when you talked about, oh, I'm glad you asked, right? Like, show you're excited about what you do. I'm really glad you asked. You know, how do you guys feel about that as a start? You can unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. So we're gonna have conversations around this. And I love it when he says that, you know, I have the best job on the planet, right? Because we do. You know, we help people with their health, and I also help people, you know, find a way to earn a little extra money, especially if they're struggling to make ends meet. So that'll start curiosity, right? Build curiosity. Anybody else? Any other thoughts or any ahas?
I'd just like to say that I'll just go ahead.
Okay, Gwen.
What I've been listening to on the news is during COVID, a lot of people got to stay at home and work, and now they're being asked to go back to work. So they want to go back to work. So I think it would be really great to say, you know, I get to work from home. This is where this job is. It's all about staying at home and doing it there. Maybe I wouldn't leave that staying at home because we do it elsewhere, right? We do go to venues and things like that. So, but saying, you know, you get to stay at home if you want to.
Work from home.
No questions.
Yeah, I'll just share.
Come on, guys.
I just shared because this morning, Steve and I, after we did something, we went to McDonald's to have a coffee. Yes, we went to McDonald's, but we had our coffee. And then I heard these two guys, they were talking about business. Then I'm like, okay, I sort of listened to other people too. And I just couldn't help. Oh, I just couldn't help. I said, I gotta ask, what business are you in? And man, these two guys are amazing. Anyway, they started with a food distribution company, etc., etc. And I won't go into it. But anyway, then they asked what I did. What do you do? And that's when I came. I said, well, I work with a health and wellness company. It's 66 years old, and we help people, you know, get healthy. You know, they go, and because I knew they were doing a business already, they sort of didn't need money. But it was interesting because we talked for like 45 minutes. And they want to know more, and we talked about, and we just talked about stuff, and it was interesting because I learned a lot about them, and they learned a lot about me as well, what, you know, life was. And this guy says, oh, my wife, she does, you know, she's like a scientist where she puts all the food, like nutrition together, and oh, she might want to listen to this. Yep, absolutely. So he was taking out those things about his omega-3s, and so we were right into it. So it's interesting.
So you started the conversation because you showed interest in what he did.
Yes.
And then
he
you asked him,
yes.
and then
yeah. So
right?
that's
what
yeah. So that's how I opened it, right? Yeah.
And with enthusiasm and confidence.
Yeah, and he said to me,
right?
You're so passionate. And I said, yes, I am. Because I believe in what I do. That's what I said. So
yep. Excellent. That's a great example, actually, Oni. Thank you. Anybody else? Anybody uncomfortable with that? If somebody asks you what you do? Yeah. No, I remember the first my first year in the business too. Very uncomfortable. And that's okay. That's normal. But remember what he said, you got to practice. So Yvonne and Kamea, you guys can practice back and forth together, right? You got like somebody that you can practice with, right? Rather than just practicing aloud, right?
Yeah.
I just have to add though, that when he said about being brief, because I tend to yap. And
Yeah.
I have had to pull back and zip it.
Zip it. Zip it.
I've had to learn how to do that.
Yeah. Me too. Don't worry, Leona. You're not alone. Okay, Kamea, go for it.
Oh, I was just gonna say,
Kamea started. I'm just gonna let Kamea started, so then we'll go to Joan.
No, I was just going to comment on Leonie's. Is
oh,
that
you
okay?
go, Joan.
Okay.
Yeah, in terms of how they say be in a hurry. Now, if you have enough time to do a full presentation, did you have enough time, or else you just say you leave it at that point and be in a hurry and get away so you can give them that full attention for a full presentation. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're at a party too as well, right? You don't try to tell them too much there because they're not
Exactly.
listening. So you would say, well, yeah, we can get together and continue being in the party, or that sort of thing.
Yes.
I'm just throwing that out to you.
Yes, and exactly that was it, Joan, because he specifically talked about the omega-3s, and he pulled out the thing, showed me what his wife was taking. And I said, oh, I got to tell you this, we have our omegas. And one thing I said was about that's the omegas are the top counterfeit supplement in the industry. And that part is excite me. Oh, and then I said, I'll send you some information. We'll talk about it in detail. Oh, okay. Because you don't want to overwhelm them. You're right. Because you don't want to do all that. The presentation will come later, right? Yeah. But just enough to tweak his curiosity.
Mhm.
Yeah. For sure.
Sorry, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I think I need to like figure out a good follow-up question. I think that's good homework or something to practice. But I've definitely like even both of us have been like panicking. Like, what do you do? Well, you don't want to say like you're a salesperson for like a supplement company. Like you don't want to say it like that. But
Yeah.
it's also like I've just kind of said I promote like an awesome company, I think I've said before, but I have felt like not the best saying
Yeah.
it. Can tell.
Yeah, and promote. I wouldn't use the word promote, but you're right because you're stumbling because you're so new to this, right? But man, you have an amazing story, Kamea. So you know what? Just say, I'm so glad you asked. I was introduced to this company like just over a year ago now, and it's a health and wellness company that's been around for over 60 years. I decided to get on board because I saw how amazing it was. The products have impacted so many lives, and I'm now helping others. I'm helping other people improve their health. And I'm also helping people earn extra income on the side part-time, something along those lines. So just share about how you felt. Like, man, I'm so glad you asked. I partnered with this company over a year ago. They've been in business for over 60 years. I had some health challenges and I was looking for something or a way to improve my health. And, when I started to look at this company, I started to take the products. They've impacted my life. And I'm now helping other people because these products have impacted my life. I'm helping others, and now I'm helping others earn extra income. Something along that, and then they're going to ask you more questions, right?
It's nice because it is somewhat vague at the same time as like powerful in the feeling of what you're getting. Like you're
Right.
you're
It's
sharing
the
feeling
feeling.
without details. So it's
Yep.
like, like
Yep.
that makes people question. Yeah. What does that mean
Yeah.
exactly?
And they might ask you, so what kind of health challenges, or, you know what I mean? Then you can say, you know what? I don't have a lot of time right now, but I'd love to connect with you. Can I get your number, email? And maybe it depends on if they're local, if you want to meet together for coffee, or if you want to, invite them to, but, get them curious and asking questions, and then boom, right? Then make sure you get their information, or if you have samples like I do, the Elevate samples, it depends on, where the conversation goes from there, right?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, that's good. And you're gonna have
Anybody else?
sharing it on she's got her open house, so she's gonna practice like at the open house too.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
And when you do it a couple of times, it does start to come a little more natural.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too because I was really nervous coming up like at the beginning too. Talk to people it's just because I wasn't sure about everything in your life, obviously, right? In my head, it's like, oh my God, how much do I have to know, right? And you know, when you really start to get into the groove of it, and I think the main thing that for me was that I'm building a story for me too, and that would impact them even more. So the more that I was taking the products and I'm seeing the results, the more confident I was becoming to say, oh my God, you know, this is working for me. So when I'm ready to tell my story to somebody, I'll get excited about it. But I also have to, like how he says, be brief, because when you're telling your story, they want to be heard. They want to be heard. So you let them tell them about their story, right?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah,
and then
tell me
follow
your story.
back up. Hey, how you doing? And they might say, oh gosh, you know, I was so tired, you know, my kids were, oh, and then they say, oh, my kids got sick. And then you can form the conversation to continue going in, because it always seems to land up with their health, right? And then talk more about, you know, introducing things to them, right? So I'm getting a little better day by day as I talk to more people, because you know, I just feel like I'm like, like Nada said, I'm just going out there and say, hey, how's it going? And today I went all the way somewhere in Flesherton to visit a friend, and I wanted to get some cheese. And this lady and I just ended up talking. And I just told her what I do. She says, you know, she loves the cheeses and that. And I said, what are you doing? I said, oh, you know, I'm into health and wellness and in a company. And then she started just said, oh my God, I need this, da 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 da. So you know, you just don't, sometimes some people really flow with you, and sometimes some people don't, but you can always still take the information and follow up. And I think, you know, it's step by step, right? Because even with family, it took me a while, and the family is now coming back, and it's been a year.
Yes. Because you're getting more confident. You're getting more confident. That's why, Alison. Yeah.
In tune and say, hey, do you want to come on? And even if they didn't want to watch, I don't take it personal anymore. I've learned to kind of keep that controlling feeling. I don't get mad or upset because I used to, right? It's like, oh my God, did you see this? You know, she did this. But you know, don't take it too personal, like, because it can affect you, right? Because you're like, oh, I'm trying, and so it's like, you know what? It will come. And then I think that's where I started to feel more confident in talking to people and sharing the business, right?
Excellent. Awesome. Anybody else? Heather, I see you nodding a lot.
Yeah. I just wanted to share. It's not, doesn't really answer the question, what do you do? But this is actually what happened over the last week. Like one of the young ladies that works at the golf course, you know, she's there, and I know she's a student, but I thought, well, she's still working there, so what's the story? So I just asked her, I said, hey, so you're a student, you're going to school, but what do you do in the wintertime? Like, because you're working here now. And she said, oh yeah, she's worked her classes so she can work Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then she goes to her classes. And she said, I want to graduate with no debt, no student debt. Clear as a bell, right? I said, wow, that's a great goal. Gee, what do you have in mind for that? And she said, well, you know, she works as a server in the other time when the golf course is closed. And I said, well, I'd love to share with you what I do. I don't know if it's a fit for you or not, but you know, I'd love to share with you. It's something that I think might be a great opportunity for you. And so she said, okay. I said, I don't want to take any time here. You're working. I don't interrupt people's work. And but just give me your number and your email, and I'll get back to you. So she did. She wrote it out, gave it to me. And so then I texted her, when can we get together after her work today? No. But she said she has time for a phone call while she's driving to her mom's birthday dinner. So I called her, you know, and we just started from there. Because the other thing that she said to me after I said I had an opportunity, maybe she might be interested, she said, if you need a worker, I'm the go-to person. So I thought, perfect. You know, she's ready to work. She wants to work. But I told her, I said, you know, this is a work program. When we had our phone call today, she's driving. And I said, this is a work program. It's not, you know, just some scheme. And but you wouldn't be working for me. You'd be working for you. And so I just gave her a little bit, you know, but it was a real good back and forth, because I'd just say one thing and then she'd question me. And when I told her that the company had been around for over 60 years and I've been with them for 26. She said, 26? I said, yeah. She said, I've never heard of them. Finally, she asked, what the company was. So I told her, and she had never heard of it. I said, I hadn't either. She said, wow, that's a really good opportunity. Nobody's heard of them. She saw it right away. So, yeah, you got it. So, we just kind of left it at that. And I'm sending her some stuff, and we'll follow up after she's had a chance to view it on Thursday. She won't be able to see it till after classes on Thursday. So
That's great, Heather. Again, just
that's
confident. You were confident.
Yeah, the less I said at the beginning and just led right to a question. Well, I told her it was health and nutrition. Does that interest you? Like, is that a field you'd like to be in? Oh yeah, she said she could think of all kinds of things. So you want to really determine that up front, because I said, you know what, I don't want to waste your time. If that's not something you're interested in, then this isn't for you. So just give it step back,
Heather, is
We'll
this
see where
the
it goes.
I love that. I love that. Does that interest you? That's a great question. Sorry, go ahead, Mia.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's okay. I was just gonna say, is this the girl you wanted me to talk to too? Like do a group chat?
No, that's one of the other girls.
Oh, okay. I'm like, because
There's
they're
somebody
my age.
coming home from Costa Rica.
But
Yeah,
that's
she's a welder. Yeah.
Ah,
Oh, she's a welder. Oh, there you go.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that is good. Yeah.
Any other thoughts, Yvonne, on what you would say? Because I know you just throw some ideas. Like, what did you like about some of the wording that we're saying? I found a way. Oh, I'm glad you asked.
Yeah, I usually say I started this side business and like I'm feeling better and then I explain a little bit about my story. But I like the way that Alan put it, saying health and wellness. I work in the health and wellness field. So I
Right.
don't know, I might change up what I say.
Yeah, that's good. No, just you'll find. Remember, he said that your words aren't going to be the same as Joan's or Heather's or mine. Like, we're just trying to give you some ideas on how to start the conversation and how to make sure that they ask you questions and not to say too much, right? Like, sometimes I'll go on about the science and the scientific advisory board, and like because I've been around for a long time, I want to tell them everything in like 2 minutes, right? So I really had to learn to listen, ask more questions, because plus when you're at, like, for example, when I'm at yoga or I'm at the gym, I only have maybe a 2-minute window. So I want to find out more about them, right? Because, and that's the thing, to ask more questions. You can find out more about them and then just plant a seed, and then you can say, you know what, I am involved with this amazing company. I'm so excited. I'm helping people. And I know you mentioned that you had whatever, if they mentioned a challenge, a health challenge, say, would you be open to maybe getting together for coffee and I can share a little bit more about what I do? Because I know we can really impact your life. And then, yeah, let's get together for coffee, right? So just be excited and talk from the heart, but find out more about them so you know how to invite them to close that meeting, whether it be a phone call, whether it be inviting them to a health talk, or even a 3-way call, right? With one of us.
Yeah.
Can I share my chat GPT?
Yes.
I wouldn't use those words. It's sort of like a framework. You have the information and you pick out some. So I won't use all of them at the same time, right? So it says I assist, but I say I help. I help people with both their health and financial well-being. First, I focus on educating them, and then I offer whole food supplements to support their health. If they're facing financial challenges, I also share an amazing business opportunity, right? That's what it says. So you have to have the information, and you can change around the words, right? But knowing exactly what I want to say, right? So but that's what ChatGPT told me to say.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, yeah, that's good. So you mixed in both the health and income opportunity, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you just met them and you don't know what they're looking for, you don't know what their needs are, you're kind of hoping that they'll ask you more questions after. Say, oh, what about the health, or what about that income opportunity?
Right. You won't be saying this all at once, right? You'll be chatting and then you fill in type thing. So yeah.
Has anyone ever gone door to door like Alan was talking about to like meet people?
Yeah, I've had people do that. I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah.
especially early on in your business.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
I'm just curious. You-
yeah, no, I mean, what I have done when I got really excited when I moved to Bellwood, I did like 100 flyers to invite them to a health and wellness event, like literally delivered in their mailboxes. Like, remember we used to do that, guys, and nobody would show, like nobody, right? And I mean, what do you do when you get a flyer in the mailbox, right? In the
Yeah.
recycling, and I learned that early on. Yeah, so there's certain things that we've done in the past that we just know don't work. Door to door. I mean, I think Sean tried that one time. Remember Leonie? Didn't he try going door to door a
Yeah.
while ago? Like
Long
early,
time,
like
long time, I think, long time
long
ago.
time ago. He just wanted to see what what it'd be like. And yeah, it's a challenge because could you imagine how many times do people come to your door and what do you do? No, thank you. Thank you. Right? Not
Yeah.
interested, right?
Being more aware to it.
Yeah. So it'd be
Trust.
it is a relationship building business, and I think that's why it's. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Allison.
Oh no, I was just saying, like a lot of people going door to door now, it's like not trusting anymore because you don't
Yeah.
coming at your door, and so a lot of people don't go for the door to door anymore, really, So I mean, like unless you know somebody that you say, hey, I'm coming over, but door to door is like someone's at the door. I don't answer my door when I see people because they're coming to sell me something, and I really don't have time to really. But
Yeah.
Actually, sorry, door to door. He didn't go to door with your life. He went door to door when he was younger, selling chocolates. And he,
Oh yeah, I remember that. It was a good
Remember that?
practice. Yeah.
And he
Yeah,
sold
yeah,
a
he was
lot of
practicing.
chocolates.
Yeah. He
Yeah,
did.
it wasn't your
Remember
life.
that.
It was. Yeah, I was just thinking.
Yeah,
about
yeah.
it.
I do remember somebody. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have
Chocolate.
But you know what I was
thought.
going Oh, sorry. Yeah. Go ahead, Yvonne.
Has anyone ever gone to like businesses and asked to do a presentation in front of, let's say, a business, let's say, a massage therapy practice or a physiotherapy practice, some like that are already involved in health? Has anyone done that?
Hey, now that you've done
So
it.
Yvonne, because of your background and because of what you do, it might work for you. You got to build that trust and that relationship with them. So it wouldn't hurt to ask, and then they'll may ask you some more questions, and then you can just say, you know what, I found something. I'm give it a little bit about your background. And I was really skeptical when I first took a look at this company, but when I saw the over 60-year-old history and some of the science, I found that there was nothing else like out there like it. Would you be open maybe just sitting down and I can explain it to you first to see if this would be a fit for me to come into your clinic to educate some of your practitioners? Like first meet with somebody in there that has the say. Just I just like give me 30 minutes of your time and I can explain it to you to see if this is something that might be a fit for your
Yeah,
clinic.
that sounds really good. Yeah. And
Okay, but again,
oh, sorry.
yeah, again, but you have to know like just to go in there. It depends on, first of all, hair salons are busy, hairdressers are busy, right? So would you have enough time to build that relationship unless you're in there getting your hair done and you're talking to them while you're getting your hair done? You build that relationship, you build that trust, then you might be able to ask and have that weigh in. But it's all about building that relationship, starting conversations and building trust. So you might not have enough time in that department. Okay. Anybody else?
So Annie thinks I should put my camera on.
Ah!
Oh, I can't really see.
Good to see you.
I'm dyeing my hair. Look, I'll put the thing up there. Anyway.
Oh,
Jamaica ready.
Yeah. Well, we have an event this weekend too, so we're real busy. So over the years, I really just try and give them everything. So over the last few months, as we've been doing this, like talking about this stuff and trainings and all these, because we've been doing this conversation, like more trust building and all that relationship building, I'm really finding myself, it's like a struggle, like to really contain yourself because you have so much information. And I'm distracting myself. I'm going to stop the video. So it's like really, it's difficult when you're so used to, like Nada just, I don't have nearly the knowledge Nata has, but so much history and information to just want to give them everything. And it's like taking that step back. So I really need to do a lot more practicing on doing that. And I think the audiobooks are helping too, like the 90-second one there that I've listened to now twice.
Yes.
You know, and there's another trust one, and it's just taking that step back and listening more and asking more questions and doing that kind of thing. So
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good one. Honestly, Sean, and it does. You have to hold back, like, especially with
so
myself
hard.
and probably Jen, Heather, and when, like, we've been around for so long that you just literally want to tell them everything about Jerry and about Kendra and about the FAB, and about omega-3s and TRIANIN, and you just want to tell them everything, right? But no, you just got to hold back, ask more questions, find out about what their needs are, and tell them you might have a solution. You know, do you want to get together, or would you like me to send you some information? Would you be open to learning more? Right?
Yeah.
Does that interest you?
I like that.
Love that. I found a way. I found a way. Right? Yeah. I've been getting a lot as we get older. I'm finding what's happening with me is when they find out my age. And they go, what? I go, I found a way. 33 years ago, I said yes to something, and I'm so grateful I did. If you'd like to learn more, let's get together for coffee. I found a way, right? So yeah, there's so many things that you can do. Heather, you got it. That'd be a good one for you. You're so active. How did you stay in great shape? I found a way. How many years ago, right? I'm so glad I said yes to this company, and now I'm helping people. I'm impacting lives, and I have a little side business while I'm doing this. You know, would you like to know more? Would this interest you? Right? Some good nuggets, guys. Yeah. And even Yvonne, I mean, from your health journey to now, I found a way. I found something that works. And I struggled for years, or for whatever time frame it was, right? I found something that works, and I'm so excited. I decided to partner with this company. There's a big difference. And if you'd like to learn more, I'd love to share that with you. Right? Something as simple as that. Passion, right? Belief, confidence. Because we have the best products, guys. I've been talking, John Miller's been messaging me, and even George Casals in Italy with Anna Maria Riccardi having lunch, and he's messaging me, and I said, oh my gosh, they've been in the company for over 50 years, I think it is. And I was like, wow, like, it's so incredible, right? To see the history of this company. We have like a gold mine. We really do. We just need to start talking and sharing and asking more people to come along on this journey with us. All right. Okay. So we've got some of you coming on, hopefully at 8 o'clock, to learn more about who we are and what we do. Hopefully we'll have some guests. Sorry.
The incentives. Remind
Oh
people.
yes, I love the new incentive. I have 2 one-on-ones tomorrow for promoters that want to sign up as a promoter. When I saw that the new incentive, did you everybody see it? I posted it in the messenger group.
Yeah. Is
Right?
there
To
a
sign up as
flyer?
member.
Is there going to be
Yeah.
like, I looked at it really quick at work today, but is there something we can print, like we can put at the booth?
That is can you not
I
print
didn't
that
know.
flyer?
I just looked at it. I didn't know if it was something we can print.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I
okay.
think you could. I think you can. You can download it and then print it. Yeah.
Okay,
They put it in the
look at it again.
Yeah, I think they put it in I know they put it in the World Team group, and I'm assuming they put it in the Business Builders as well.
Well, we got an email.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I saw quick
But
today.
there is a
Just look
flyer.
at it.
I shared the flyer in the group.
Okay, thank you.
Don't?
Yeah, I saved it. So if you save it, then you can print it, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
The second one.
Because it'd be nice to have that probably printed at the booth, right, Nata? And on a
Sure.
Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be great for sure.
Does it work for upgrade, an upgrade promoter?
They usually do. Most of the incentives, it includes an upgrade. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody know what does everybody know what we're talking about?
I just
Okay.
looked it up. I hadn't seen it before now.
I just thought, no.
Yeah, it's a great fly. It's a
Very
great
nice.
incentive. Oh my gosh. Like, yeah, I know when Ashley and Whit got
Huge.
together after our Saturday session, that's what they were doing. They're again together brainstorm for some incentives to encourage us to introduce more people, right? So what a great incentive. Oh my gosh, to get a free box of something, Elevate, yeah, or Aloe and Elevate. Woohoo! It's a great value, great value.
Yeah.
And I got an email saying that the vegetarian multivitamin is discontinued too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Not
yeah.
that one anymore.
Mhm.
Okay. But they do these little promos every few months. Is that normal? Like that they've been doing, or have they been doing
Yeah,
more?
they're gonna try to do incentives. Like I think they're trying monthly even. They're gonna try to do something to get people, out there doing more. Because I think the more like we really get excited over, especially getting free product,
Yeah.
right? That's exciting, especially when you're introducing somebody to the business. Say, listen, if you sign up as a promoter and you start with 100 points, they're going to give you this for free. The $100 value Elevate, right? Or whatever, $90, right? Or
Yeah.
if you sign up with 250 points, you get Aloe and Elevate.
Yeah.
What a great, especially if they're business minded, right?
Well, and a
It's
lot
great
of other
incentive.
companies do these kind of things like for deals and stuff like
Yep.
that. So it's nice that this is
For sure.
something we can offer.
Absolutely. Oh, I got 2 minutes to get on the other side, guys. So thank you. And go back and listen to this because I think there were some lines that you might have missed and some examples and wording and things like that. Just find what resonates with you. Okay. Have a great night. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.